Next, what I'm showing you is the trip history. The trip history gives you a summarized list of all the start and stops based in your time period that you've set up. So this is a very commonly used feature, and you probably access this on a daily basis to identify the stops that were conducted, which customers were serviced, as well as sort by driver and who actually serviced those customers. Just highlighting a few parts of this, you'll see here you can sort for the time period for today, yesterday, and even a custom calendar date and time if you want to be very specific. You can sort this by vehicle, by driver, or by route. Now if you're using the driver ID keys, you can use the driver, and this will become useful if you have multiple drivers per vehicle. You can see I've sorted and selected a few drivers from this group, and I'm just going to talk about this particular driver here. Brad McCohen, you can see he's part of the group Second Harvest. This is his vehicle. You can see when he started his trips, I'll highlight this one here. You can see he started at 10:45 a.m. He drove for 20 minutes. He arrived at 11 a.m. roughly, and the distance he drove, as well as how long he was stopped for at that customer. And you can see the customers actually highlighted in multiple different colors. It's all depending on how you wish to distinguish your customers, but it allows you to easily see any variations in your types of customers if you have any sort of groups. Idling as well as max speed is shown here as well. What I've highlighted for myself to identify any flags is I've highlighted any stops that are over 20 minutes, and I can see a few here, as well as idling over 3 minutes, and you can see some flags that have been set up here as well. So you can see this driver is relatively good on the idling, but if I can see my other drivers here, I can see there's a little bit excess idling. Now, if I want to get an idea of the actual route this driver took, what I'm going to do is here I'm going to highlight this group, and I'm going to click the show button, and I'm going to look at my map to help me identify the actual route this driver took. Let me just bring this down. I'm going to zoom into that particular area to get an idea on this actual path that he took. Now, the stops that I've highlighted, you can see they're customer stops since they've been highlighted here in a star. This is his first customer stop, his second customer stop, his third customer stop, and so on. Some things you'll also notice here as well is you'll notice here in the red highlights, this could indicate some speeding or any other types of general faults. So I can see here he's speeding here. There's another speeding safety exception here. You can see here there's a rule that was set up, and it says vehicle park outside of area after hours. So that's a custom rule that's been set up, and it'll highlight all those rules on this breadcrumb trail. So it makes it very easy for you to identify any types of issues, and that's just for one driver. From the trip history, you can also export all kinds of business reports, and then custom reports that you can set up as well. Just highlighting a few, you can see after hours, business versus personal, idling, any types of top speeds, and so on and so on. There's a few default dashboards that come in, but there's over 40 different reports that you can use, and again, you can customize the data and create your own reports in whichever way you feel necessary for your business. In this, you can also again use the live map features to identify particular areas and routes. For example, you may want to compare the path the driver took with a specific route, and this will give you an idea. You can do an overlay and identify if he is going off path. I've just highlighted for demonstration purposes a particular route. In no way matches what I've highlighted on the screen here, but just I wanted to use it just to demonstrate the actual route that you've set up here highlighted in blue, as well as the actual driver's route.